Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be my best in beauty drugstore slash affordable products. I'm super excited to share with you guys all of my favorites for this year. There's actually so many things here. I think I probably have more drugstore and affordable items this year that are my favorites more than high end, which is super exciting because I love finding good and affordable things that are just absolutely amazing, and I honestly cannot live without these products. So these are also a lot of my holy grail things, and I know a lot of you guys have already seen these in my previous videos and things that I've talked about before, but this is going to be a roundup of all the things that I have been loving and cannot live without for the year of 2016. If you do like this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, especially so you don't miss out on my high-end favorites. But if you want to see my drugstore and affordable products that I've been loving for 2016, then just keep on watching. I'm going to kind of go in order of how I would do my makeup, so I'm going to start out with primers. The first two are actually by NYX. These are some of my absolute favorite ones. I've talked about them so much on my channel. The first one is the Angel Veil primer, which is very similar to the Hourglass Veil mineral primer, and the other one that I absolutely love is the NYX CC Cream. This one's in green. I actually like using this as a primer. You can use it by itself. It doesn't stay green on your skin. It does kind of even everything out, but this really does neutralize the redness in my skin, which I feel like I don't have to use as much foundation when I'm using this as a primer. So I love these ones from NYX. They're my absolute favorites. And then my other favorites are by Nip and Fab. This is their Smooth Viper Venom Micro Blur Fix. I don't hear anyone talking about this. Very good blurring primer if you have a lot of texture and pores on your skin. This one does get a little bit tacky, so if you don't like that, you probably won't like wearing this by itself, but it does really make a great tacky base for anything you put on top of it, so this is amazing. And then last but not least, this one's probably my absolute favorite that I discovered this year. This is the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot Instant Perfecting Power Primer with Shine Block 12-Hour Matte Spears and Pore Shrink Technology. If you have any texture or any pores on your skin, this is seriously going to fill them in and make your skin look so smooth. And I compare it to a lot of my other high-end primers because it does such an amazing job. I do feel like this is a little bit pricier considering it is more of a drugstore and affordable brand, but I think this is an amazing primer, and it is great for people with oily skin. Moving on to foundation. Foundations are some of my favorites from the drugstore, honestly. There are a couple of favorites that I have that are high-end, but I always gravitate towards my drugstore ones just because they do a beautiful job. So the ones that I actually discovered more recently have been the Sonia Kashuk Soft Focus Satin Matte Foundation. I did an entire video on this. I do have two shades because I do have to mix them to get my perfect shade, but I am wearing the mixture of them on my skin right now, and I love the way this makes my skin look. I have it in 02 and 03. This is a beautiful foundation. It looks gorgeous on the skin. And then my other one that I discovered this year as well, this is also by Soap & Glory. This is their One Heck of a Blot foundation. It says it's fabulous, flawless, and full coverage. This is an amazing foundation, again, if you have oily skin. The only thing I do not like about this is the shade range is very limited. I wish they would come out with more shades because it is great. It really does give you a matte and poreless look, just like the other one I'll be showing you soon. But if you wanted to try a new one from Soap & Glory, this is absolutely gorgeous on the skin, and it lasts a long time. And then the other two are probably going to be no surprise to you guys. I've been loving the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I do have the total cover, and I do like that, but I haven't had it for super long, so I didn't want to mention it now because I've only been wearing it for a couple weeks. But this one is great, as well as probably one of my favorite drugstore foundations ever. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. They also have a Fit Me for dry skin, but if you are anything combination to oily, definitely pick up the matte and poreless. It kind of gives you like a velvety satin matte finish, but it looks absolutely beautiful on the skin, and it really does make your skin look super airbrushed, and of course it's super affordable. I haven't really discovered too many new concealers this year, but the one that I've been really loving, not as a concealer under my eyes, but as a primer when I want to use something that has color to it, is by LA Girl. This is their Pro Conceal. A lot of people love using this to contour with because they do have contour shades. A lot of people also love using this as an under eye concealer, which I do, but I mostly use this as an eye primer. I really do feel like it just covers up all my veins in discoloration and acts as a really great base for my eyeshadow. So again, I love using this as an eye primer, and I have it in the color Natural. Now these two concealers I cannot live without. These are by far my favorite concealers, both high-end and drugstore. Honestly, they just work so well for my skin and under my eyes and make it look super full coverage, bright, illuminated, doesn't crease, it lasts a long time. So this combination and them by itself are amazing. The first one is probably no surprise, the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I have mine in the color Light 10. I've gone through so many of these. This is actually a new one because I just finished my other one not too long ago. So I always have to have one of these open in my collection perfection. I will never go a day without having this concealer in my possession at one point or another because it is that good. My other favorite concealer has been by Wet n Wild. This is the Illumi-naughty Highlighting and Concealing Pen. I have it in the color Ivory and 2. You guys can see how much I've used of this. I've gone through at least 4 or 5 of these. They are so good. This is very similar in consistency and formula to the MAC Prep and Prime brightening pens, which can be quite pricey, but this I believe is about $2.99 from the drugstore, and it is so good. It gives such beautiful coverage as well, and it really does highlight under the eyes. I always have to set my concealer with a loose translucent matte powder because I do get really oily in this area of my face, so if I don't set it, it will crease and cake up during the day. So the one that I've been loving that is more affordable, but you can find this at Ulta and Sally's Beauty. This is by Palladio. It's their translucent rice powder. This is super mattifying. I'm wearing it under my eyes right now. So if you are anything less than combination to oily, I would definitely stay away from this. It reminds me a lot of the Laura Mercier translucent matte powder, but I feel like it's a little bit more drying than that. So if you don't have any oiliness to your skin or you have a bunch of dry patches, I would not recommend this. But if you are oily, this is a oily girl's dream. I love it, and a little bit goes a very long way with this. And then to set the rest of my face, I've been loving the NYX No Filter finishing powder. This is super similar to the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, which I've been loving as well, but this literally gives you like an airbrush finish. It looks so nice and natural on the skin. It doesn't give you a super full coverage look as well, so if you just like a light wash of color, this is going to be perfect for you. They also have a super wide array of colors, so there's going to be a color for everyone. I have mine in the color light beige, which is a little bit dark for me right now. I do have to go a shade down, but this powder is so finely milled. It goes on the skin so nicely. You look like you do have a filter on your skin from Instagram or something like that, and it lasts a really long time on my skin as well. I wanted to quickly mention my 2 favorite brow products. I typically use ones that are a little bit more high-end just because they work better for me, but this combination from L'Oreal has been one of my favorites from the drugstore. I've tried a lot of cheaper alternatives to some of the other high-end products that I love, but these 2 have been the only ones that I've actually repurchased. The L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer, which is very similar to the Anastasia Brow Wiz, as well as the Brow Stylist Plumper from L'Oreal. This is amazing for days that you really don't want to wear anything on top of it. 1, because it has little fibers in it, and 2, it's tinted. So it really reminds me of the Benefit Gimme Brow, but at a much cheaper price, and it's literally like cement for your brows. So your brows will not go anywhere when you wear this. The color that I'm in the definer is brunette, and I also have this in the color medium to dark, and I've already repurchased these 2 a couple of times this year. Moving on to contour and bronzers, because that's what I would do next in my routine. The contour palette that I've been loving from the drugstore has been by Makeup Revolution. I've talked about this brand so much on my channel, but this is their Ultra Contour Palette, which you can actually get both online from the Makeup Revolution website and in store and online at Ulta, which is great. This is a great dupe for the Anastasia one, but I love that these come with shimmery illuminators, so you don't have to reach for another palette if you don't want to. The highlighting shades are absolutely beautiful, but I'm in love with the contouring shades, the range of undertones that these powders have, and they also go on the skin so nice and smooth and buttery. They blend out really easily. So if you've been looking for a good contour palette that is quite affordable, I would definitely check this one out. Next is bronzers. I have 3 here that I just cannot live without. One is actually quite new to me, but I've been wearing this almost every single day since I purchased this. This is by Neutrogena. It is their Healthy Skin Blends Natural Radiance Bronzer in 30 Sunkiss. This is actually what I'm wearing on my skin today. This just gives the skin such a beautiful warm glow. It doesn't have any shimmer to it, but it's kind of like a satiny finish, and it looks quite orange in the pan, but let me tell you, I was super nervous at first when I got this, and I was like, oh gosh, this doesn't look super orange on my skin, but it's actually very nice. Still warm undertoned bronzer, but it doesn't look orange on me, which I love. It honestly makes you look like you just came back from vacation. I love how easy this is to blend out. It's very silky and smooth. It has a very nice buttery consistency to it, and I love how affordable it is. The other bronzer, I think a lot of people have been loving this bronzer this year for very good reason. This is by Physicians Formula. It's their Butter Bronzer. I have mine in the color bronzer. I know there's 2 colors, light bronze and bronzer, which is the one that I have. This is a great kind of like neutral tone bronzer, so it doesn't pull too warm or too cool, so you can actually contour with this if you wanted to. I just use this to kind of warm up the outer perimeters of my face, and I love it. The smell is very strong. I actually smell a lot on my brushes after I use it, but this is again one of my favorite bronzers from the drugstore. It's so natural looking. This isn't like super pigmented, so if you go in with a heavy hand, it's not gonna look super overdone, which I like, but you can build this up if you do want a heavier bronzer look. I love the formula of this. I'm so excited they came out with blushes in this formula because it's so nice and creamy, and of course the smell is amazing. And then my last product for my favorite bronzers is actually one I will only wear during the summer. This This is by Milani. It's their baked bronzer. I only have one here, but I have two that I love. This one is in 05 Soleil, and I also have 04 Golden, which is a little bit lighter than this. But if you love a really, really shimmery, kind of gorgeous glow to your skin, I would definitely recommend this one. I wouldn't use it by itself unless you want just a super glowy looking bronzy skin, but I do love using this during the summer to kind of give my face a little bit more of a sheen right on the outer perimeters of my face. So I will layer this bronzer on top of something else I'm using or any of the contour powders I'm using, and this just gives your skin such a healthy glow, which is perfect for summer. 05 Soleil and 04 Glow are my absolute favorites. For blushes this year, I love my Milani blushes. Again, Milani baked products are some of my favorites. So the two colors that I've been rocking all year have been Dulce Pink 01, which is a really nice kind of neutral toned light baby pink. A lot of the baby pinks that I see in blush shades are very, very cool toned and have a lot more blue undertones to them, which I do not like on my skin tone unless I'm wearing a super cool tone look. But this is a beautiful color that has more of a neutral undertone. It doesn't pull too warm or too cool. So this looks great with a variety of different looks. But if you like a really nice soft kind of subtle pink glow to your skin, this is definitely one to reach for. The other color by Milani is not going to be a surprise to anyone. This is Luminoso. You guys can see my dome on my blush is almost gone just because I use it so much. This is such an overhyped product, but honestly it's so gorgeous on the skin and it looks good on a variety of different skin tones. This will probably be too light as a blush on a lot of people with deeper skin tones, but honestly this as a highlighter would look so gorgeous because it's kind of like that peachy pink light sheeny glow. So I think this product would work for a bunch of different skin tones, either as a blush or as a highlighter. The other blush I've been wearing a lot is by NYX. This is their ombre blush in the color of Mauve Me. This is such a similar color to Mood Exposure by Hourglass, which is also another favorite. So when I saw this in the drugstore, I about freaked out. This is a beautiful kind of like neutral mauve color. It pulls a little bit more kind of like purpley pink on my skin when I put it on the cheeks, but it is so stunning. I was a little nervous about this at first. I was like, oh, this is quite cool toned and quite purple, but this definitely gives your cheeks a gorgeous kind of natural flush. It has a slight sheen to it, so it's going to give you that healthy, radiant looking glow that I love in a blush. My favorite blush palette that is more affordable, this is not a drugstore brand, but you can buy this online and their prices are super affordable, so I thought I would mention it. This is by Morphe. This is their 9N palette. I mentioned this in a couple of my favorites videos actually, just because I could not stop wearing this. Now, I was not just gravitating towards some colors, I've worn every single color in this palette, and I'm so happy that a brand has finally come out with a palette like this. One, that's affordable, but two, has a bunch of everyday neutral colors. There's so many blush palettes out there that have pops of purple and red and bright pinks and corals, which I don't really reach for on an everyday basis. So if you are a working woman or someone like me who just loves wearing a nice everyday natural flush to the cheeks, this is going to be the perfect palette for you. These are quite pigmented, so you want to be careful. They're very buttery and smooth. They're really easy to blend out as well, so I would highly recommend this palette. I love this one, and this is again the 9N palette from Morphe. Next is highlighters, and I'm so excited about this. Y'all know I'm the highlighting queen. I love to glow, and I love finding a great affordable highlighter, and I've done a lot of reviews on some, and a lot of these have definitely made it into my yearly favorites. So my first two favorite are actually by Wet n Wild. I'm so glad that Wet n Wild came out with gorgeous highlighters, and these were so hard to get my hands on, the first one especially, but I'm so excited that I did. It is so stunning. I did an entire video on this one and the other highlighter that came out with it, but this is one of my favorites. This is called Precious Petals. Again, it's by Wet n Wild. These are actually permanent now. I know these were limited edition and so hard to get your hands on, but I've actually seen them pop up in my stores on the new displays that are coming out for 2017, so make sure you keep your eye out for these. You can order them online as well, but this is such a gorgeous kind of like peachy pink champagne color, and it gives you a gorgeous glow. The other one by Wet n Wild I had to hunt down. This by far was the hardest drugstore item I've ever had to go hunt down and find, but I was able to find it and I bought myself a duplicate because I love this so much. This is their Gold Bar highlighter in Holly Goldhead. If you can still find this, honestly grab the rest of them that you see because this is one of the most beautiful highlighters. If you love a gorgeous kind of neutral toned gold highlight, this is by far the best one that I have tried that is super affordable. The formula on this is gorgeous. It's so buttery and smooth, and it just gives the skin such a gorgeous glow. This honestly to me feels like a high-end highlighter and I cannot get enough of it. Wet n Wild has knocked it out of the park this year. My next two favorite highlighters are by LA Girl and Physicians Formula. So the LA Girl one is their Strobe Light Strobing Powders in 80 Watt. This is what this one looks like. Again, I did a whole video on all of the LA Girl highlighters that I purchased myself. This one is by far my favorite. It looks quite dark in the pan, but it's a gorgeous kind of champagne peachy glow, and this gives you a glow. Like, this is a super intense highlighter. And then the other one is by Physicians Formula. This is their Natural Nude Highlighting Strip. So this is what this looks like. They do have a couple other ones that are also strips of highlighter that I think come in like 4 or 5 colors, but I feel like those are not as buttery and smooth as this one is. This gives a very, very nice natural glow. It is quite intense and you can build it up. It doesn't have chunks of shimmer or glitter in there, so it's a very nice natural luminous glow. I also have a highlighting palette that I've been loving as well. This is by BH Cosmetics. It's their Wild and Radiant Baked and Illuminating Bronzing Palette. This is what it looks like. You can actually buy this at Rite Aid, and then these are the 4 shades that it comes with. So you have 2 kind of like champagne-y colors as well as 2 more bronzier colors. You can use these as eyeshadows. I'm wearing it as my highlight right now, and I have a mixture of a couple of the shades in here on my cheekbones, but this is gorgeous. I think this is only like $7 or $8, and I was blown away when I used this for the first time. I was so surprised at how good this was and how affordable it was. My favorite eyeshadow primer this year has definitely been the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer by Wet n Wild. This is a great, super affordable eyeshadow primer. The only thing I wish this had was a color tint to it, but this makes my eyeshadows last all day long. I have super, super oily eyelids as well, so if I don't use the base or I don't use the right one, it's going to crease on me and my eyeshadows will transfer from my eyelid up into my crease, and that is not cute. So I've been using this a lot. Because this doesn't have color to it, I will set it with a kind of colored eyeshadow that matches my skin tone, so this will create a nice flawless base for my eyeshadow, but I have been loving this one from Wet n Wild. Some of my absolute favorite eyeshadows this year have actually come out of my Coastal Scents palette. These are all of their Hot Pot eyeshadows, which you can buy on their website for about $1.99, and when they're on sale, they're only 99 cents, so less than $1 for each individual eyeshadow. These are only a fraction of the collection that I have from them. I have like 3 other palettes full of eyeshadows because they're 1, super inexpensive, and 2, amazing for the price. And this is my kind of like warm neutrals palette, which I reach for on an everyday basis. I love using this palette. I would highly recommend Coastal Scents eyeshadows. I think they're amazing. I do like some Morphe Brushes palettes. I know these are like hit or miss for a lot of people. They're definitely not like my favorite eyeshadows ever. If I only had to pick one eyeshadow palette to live with, I'll be mentioning it in my high-end favorites, but for the price of these, I do think they are somewhat good quality, and I do reach for them a lot, so that's why I'm mentioning them to you guys today. The first one that I have is the 35O palette, which I think is a lot of people's favorite for quite a good reason. I mean, there's a lot of good neutrals in here that are more warm toned, so especially someone like me who gravitates towards warm neutral eyeshadows, this is perfect. They also have a great mixture of matte shades and shimmer shades in here. There's not too many shimmers in here because there are a lot of mattes, which is great to kind of create a well-rounded look in my opinion. And then the other one that I've been loving is the 35K, which I don't hear very many people talk about, but I actually really like this one as well, just because this one has more neutral to cool tones and a nice wide array of colors as well. You do have a nice mixture of neutral browns, but you also have some cool grays in there as well. So I reach for these a lot, which is why I wanted to mention them. I didn't think I was going to get a lot of use out of this when I purchased it, but I've been reaching for this one a lot this year. Moving on to some single eyeshadows, I've been loving ColourPop ones as well. I'm actually wearing one on my lid right now. The one I'm wearing on my lid is called Amaze, which looks like this. As you can see, I've hit pan on this one because it's so pretty. It's like a nice rose gold color. The other one I've been loving is called Lovely, which is like a beautiful, just nice gold champagne color, perfect for every day, especially if you like something metallic and glittery on the lid. And then my first ColourPop eyeshadow, which still to this day remains my favorite, has been I Heart This, which is like a nice kind of like taupey pewter silver, but it looks so good on the lid with both warm tones in the crease and cool tones, so that's why I love this one. I don't really have too many liner favorites. The only liquid liner that I really swear by from the drugstore is by NYX. This is their matte liquid liner in the color Black. This is one of the most pigmented matte black liners that I've ever used before. I actually like it a lot more than the NYC one, but I think the brush applicator on this is so much nicer. It's a lot smaller than the NYC one, which is why I like it, so I can get a really, really nice kind of flared out wing. So I've been loving this one. It dries super, super fast, and it's also, again, really, really pigmented. And then the other liner that I've been loving is actually for my waterline. I could not wear a black liner in my waterline. It just looks awful on me. The one I've been reaching for a lot, has been a favorite of mine for a couple years, and I use this all the time, is by Rimmel. This is their Scandalized Kohl Kajal in the color Nude. It's just a nice nude liner. I've gone through a couple of these and it lasts a really long time on my eyes. It doesn't transfer onto my contacts, which I have a huge issue with a lot of other liners. So this one has been my holy grail and my favorite nude liner for a long time. I really don't wear mascara by itself anymore. I typically will only use mascara when I'm layering with my false lashes. There are some days that I will wear mascara by itself, but I will only use it if I'm wearing this. This is by L'Oreal. This is their voluminous base, which is very, very similar to the Lancome Sills Booster, but this has actually taken its place because I love how affordable it is and I feel like it does the exact same thing for my lashes. And then I will go in with my favorite one from the drugstore. This is by Maybelline. This is the Falsies Push-Up Drama Mascara. This mascara really, really lifts my lashes. It kind of curls them as well and it gives them a ton of volume and length, which is what I need in a mascara. I don't hear very many people talk about it, but I really, really love it for my lashes. Moving on to falsies, my favorite part of makeup. I'm honestly a lash freak. I love collecting lashes, buying lashes, wearing lashes. I really feel like they just complete any look. So my favorites have actually been only drugstore lashes. I refuse to buy lashes that are super, super expensive unless they're on discount or there's a sale. So my favorite brand this year has actually been Cocoa Lashes and Ardell lashes. The Ardell ones that I love are the 113s, which look like this. These are like my everyday natural lash. If I want something that's just kind of basic, long and wispy, this is what I will reach for. These are quite dramatic, but that's what I like for myself. And then the other ones that I love, I've been mentioning these a lot recently, but they are just so gorgeous. These are the Mega Volume 250s, and they are just honestly some of my favorite wispy lashes. I love that they have multi-dimensions to them, so they look quite natural. They actually remind me of a lot of mink lash. So these ones are my favorite, and they are so gorgeous on the eyes. So those are my two favorites from Ardell, and then of course I have a bunch of Cocoa lashes that I love, but these ones have stood out to me the most this year, and you guys have seen me wear them all year long. These are in the style Goddess, which look very, very dramatic to a lot of people, but on my eyes, I've been so used to them now that I just think they kind of go with any eye look that I wear. But I love these lashes. They're my favorite dramatic lashes, and they're only about $6 or $7, and I cannot wait to go to IMATS and stock up on so many of these lashes. Cocoa has some of the best quality lashes I have tried for the price. They last a long time. One of these pairs will last me probably about 20 uses because I do take good care of my lashes and I can get 20 uses out of them, which is amazing because again, these are only like $7. Moving on to lip products, I have 4 lip liners that I've been wearing all year long. The first one is by NYX. This is the Slide On Glide On, but this is in the color Nude Suede Shoes, which is just a super, super gorgeous kind of nice nudie pink color. The other one that I've been wearing a lot is by Jordana. This is their Easy Liner for Lips retractable pencil in the color Rock and Rose. This is the one that I always reach for when I want to wear something that's a little bit more of a deeper nude. So that is what the Rock and Rose one looks like from Jordana. The other one that I love is by Milani. This is their Color Statement lip liner in the color 04 All Natural. This is beautiful as well. Kind of looks like the Rock and Rose one, but this one is a little bit creamier and it lasts a little bit longer on my lips. And then my last favorite lip liner is by ColourPop. This one's in the color Oh Snap. This one's a little bit more of a pinky beigey nude, so it has a little bit more coolness to it, as you can tell between the first one and this one. But I love wearing this. This looks good with a variety of different lipsticks, and I wear this one all the time. I feel like this is a really, really good year for liquid lipsticks from the drugstore. There's so many brands now that have already come out with liquid lipsticks and are slowly but surely releasing more colors to their already existing lines. The first ones that I wanted to talk about are by Wet n Wild. These are quite new, but I love the formula of these. They are so amazing. These are their liquid catsuit matte lipsticks. I did an entire video on these and I love them. They're so beautiful. The 3 favorites that I have from the entire collection that they released are Nudie Patootie, which is a nice kind of cool tone nude, Rebel Rose, which I think is going to look great on a variety of different skin tones. It's just a beautiful mauve rose color. And then the other one is called Give Me Mocha, which looks exactly like Lolita from Kat Von D. They're so good. I would definitely recommend these. The other ones that I love are by ColourPop. They have an ultra matte formula as well as an ultra satin, which don't dry completely matte. So I have 4 mattes and 1 satin formula. So the satin one is called Little Stitches. I have a lot of nudes. They all look quite similar in the two, but they are quite different on the lips. So again, the satin one is called Little Stitches. I love this one. The matte lips that I have are Times Square, Bianca, and Beeper. These are all great, great, great nudes. If you're looking for something that is more beigey, a little bit more kind of brownie pinky nude, I would definitely recommend any of these 3. And then my favorite dark lip from them has been LAX. This is a great just kind of burgundy brown, perfect for fall and winter. The other liquid lipstick favorites that I loved this year are by NYX. These are their lip lingerie. So my favorite from the first release are Bedtime Flirt, Lace Detail, and Push Up. And then last but not least, for liquid lipsticks, these are by Milani, and these are their more matte lip creams in the color Honey and Sweetie. Again, I did a whole video on these, but these are my two favorite colors. I love the shades of these. They're definitely more of that pinky beige nude. You have a lighter one, and then Honey is the darker one on the bottom, but these look absolutely gorgeous on the lips. So moving on to good old-fashioned lipsticks, the first two that I have are by Rimmel. These are both by Kate, and the first one is the nude collection one. It's in the color 42, which looks like this. It's the lighter one out of the two right there. This is a beautiful kind of peachy pink nude, and then the one on the other side is number 14. This is from the Black Bullet line. This is a really nice darker nude, which I really like on my skin tone. So if you want something lighter, go with number 42, but if you want something a little bit deeper, go with number 14. I've also been wearing this one by Essence a whole ton. This is the Cool Nude 05 lipstick. This is a really nice color. It looks a lot like the Rimmel one in number 14, but it's a little bit more kind of like mauve-y purpley. As you can see, it's a little bit more cool toned than this one. The other one that I've been loving as well, which is actually quite new to me, but I've been wearing this so much I've made a huge dent in the lipstick bullet already. This is by Catrice. It's their ultimate color in the color 240 Hey Nude. This is a beautiful light pinky peach nude, which is exactly what I go for on an everyday basis. It is right there. It's so gorgeous, and these are insanely pigmented, insanely creamy. And then my last lipstick favorite is by Wet n Wild. You actually cannot get this anymore, but I want to ask you guys if you have any dupes for me, which is why I wanted to mention it and show you guys what my favorite color has been for the entire year. If I could wear a color for the rest of my life that's in lipstick form, this would be it, and I'm so sad they discontinued this. So Wet n Wild, if you are watching, please bring this color back. It is my absolute favorite. But this was from their Fergie line. It's in the color Fergie Daily. Honestly, this was just the perfect nude for me. It's a little pink, a little tan, a little beige. Honestly, the perfect color. It's not too light, it's not too dark, and it looks so good on my skin tone that every time I wear this, I fall in love more and more, but I don't want to use it because I don't have very much left, and I know it's discontinued. So if you have this lipstick, or if you have anything that is a dupe for it, please, please, please let me know, because I cannot live without this color. I don't have too many lip gloss favorites for this year, but the two from NYX that I've been reaching for a lot are the Butter Gloss as well as the Intense Butter Gloss. They're very, very glossy. They're quite pigmented, but they're not sticky or tacky. They don't get stuck in my hair, which I really appreciate. The Butter Gloss that I love is called Creme Brulee. It's a nice kind of like peachy pink gloss. And then the Intense Butter Gloss that I love so much is in the color Tres Leches. I'm so sorry for the horrible swatch, but this one is Tres Leches and this one is Creme Brulee. The other two glosses that I've been loving this year are actually by BH Cosmetics and e.l.f. Cosmetics. The first one is the Illuminate by Ashley Tisdale gloss in the color Skinny Dipping, which is that one right there. It's a really, really pretty nudie pink gloss, and it has kind of slight specks of shimmer in there. And then the other one again is by e.l.f. This is their extra lip gloss in the color Scott, which I think is only like $1 or $2. You can find this at Target, but it's the bottom one right there. And then last but not least, I have some setting sprays. The first one is actually one I use as a primer spray. This is by Makeup Revolution. This is their Pro Fix Oil Control Fixing Spray. So again, I really like using this as a kind of primer spray. I will spray this after my moisturizer before my primers, and it really does control my oils. You can totally use this to set your makeup as well if you're super, super oily, but this is a super great mattifying oil controlling setting spray, and it's really affordable. And then the other one that I've been loving is by L'Oreal. This is their Infallible Makeup Extender Setting Spray. This really does make your makeup last longer. I really do see a difference when I use a setting spray versus when I don't. So I would definitely recommend using a setting spray if you haven't tried one out before. They have so many different ones from the drugstore, but this reminds me so much of my higher end one, of course, as a cheaper alternative, and it's one of my favorites. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end. I hope you all really enjoyed it. I hope you guys found some new products that you might want to try out, or if we share the same favorites, then let me know down below on what you've been loving for this year. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and I hope you guys are really excited to see my high-end favorites very soon. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I love you guys so very much, and I'll see you all in my next video.